Car Talk is presented by Gates Automotive, Northern Indiana's premier local owned auto dealer, specializing in Toyota, Chevy, and pre-owned vehicle sales and service. Gates Automotive has locations in South Bend, Mishawaka, Granger, and Elkhart. For more information, visit gatesautomotive.com.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in for Car Talk, where we sit down and discuss everything car related, from buying, selling, financing to servicing. Our first guest is actually the top salesman in the entire company with Gates Automotive. We've got 4 different stores. He's at our Chevy store in Mishawaka. He's number 1 at that store. He's number 1 in the company. And last year, he's probably going to correct me because I'm going to say it wrong, but he helped over 334 people last year. And here we have Mr. Glenn Walton. Glenn, thanks for joining us today and being a part of this.
Man, my pleasure.
And did I say the number right? 334?
331 and a half. Correct.
Don't forget the half. That's really important.
Got to do that.
Well, to kind of kick things off for this introduction part, we're going to go through and do a 30-second rundown where I'm going to give you as many questions as we can get through in 30 seconds, and you just answer them as fast as possible.
Jeez.
You can do it.
All right.
I believe in you. 30 seconds, and here we go. What's your full name?
Glenn Walton II.
Awesome. Where were you born?
Hammond, Indiana.
Where'd you grow up?
Gary, Indiana.
Where'd you go to high school?
Horseman High.
What did you do right after high school?
I went to college at Bowie State in Maryland.
What was your favorite class in high school?
Actually, it was English.
What was your favorite class in college?
Don't remember.
Are you married?
Yes.
When did you get married?
August 8th, 2021.
How many kids do you have?
2.
What are their ages?
9 and 6.
Perfect. We've got 3 more, but we'll just get through them real fast.
Yeah.
How long have you worked at Gates?
8 years.
Perfect. What's your job title?
Sales advisor.
And what other roles have you had at Gates?
I've also been a business manager previously.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, you did it. That wasn't too hard, was it?
No, it wasn't. I thought it was going to be sporadic.
It was pretty easy. Well, Glenn, really a few things. We want to highlight your huge success you had in 2021. And I know you weren't number 1 in 2020, but you put up a huge number in 2020. The year before that, you did a huge number. And then last year in 2021, you helped 331 and a half people find their car.
Yes.
What do you attribute that success to?
Gates always has this philosophy of fair, friendly. I take pride in making sure that I have fun with my customers, first of all. Like, it shouldn't be a, hard thing to do. It should be actually exciting. A lot of customers cringe, and they compare us to getting a root canal and all these other horrific things because of their bad experiences. So what I would say is to my success is just having fun, just being myself, just having fun, being goofy with them, loving on them, and also educating them on what's best for them. Not for me, not for the company, for them. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that's going to be driving it and have to see it every day and make the payments for it. And I want them to be happy about it.
Exactly.
And that's brought a lot of referrals. It's brought a lot of people coming back to me, repeat customers. It's really taken off for me. So I'm just having fun with it. I really am. It's really awesome.
It's working well for you so far. I mean, when you first came to Gates, you were very good at what you did. And you've also had a lot of other great successes in the last couple of years. You've just always been putting the customer first. And I think that's what's really worked out for you is that you have to put them first, do what's right for them, do right by the customer, and find really the right solution for them.
Right.
And it seems like that's really helped.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely done great for me. And also one thing my mom has always instilled in me, treat people the way you want to be treated. So I use that to the car business. I don't want, if I was never in the car business and I went to buy a car, I would want somebody to have fun with me and be honest and straightforward and tell me what benefits me or what they think will help benefit me and my family. Because I don't know it all.
Yeah.
Customers and sales professionals, we don't know it all. But I look at it as a puzzle. And if we put all the pieces to the puzzle, then we get a nice clear picture of what the customer actually needs and some of their wants. And that's what's really been working well for me, to where it's not even me selling. It's really me advising. And that's why I say that I'm a sales advisor. I've been trying to switch that lingo because I am. I'm advising you on what is the best bang for your buck, because every customer is looking for that. They're looking for the most vehicle for the lowest payment possible.
Exactly.
And so I'm trying to help them as best way as I can.
And that's right. And it's not like it's cookie cutter either. It's not the same solution for every single person.
No, it's not. It's not. And that's what's so exciting about the business, is because every day is different. Every customer has a different challenge. It's not all the same. And that's what just keeps me more engaged. And then also, I want to break that barrier of we're scumbags. We're the Badger salesmen. We're terrible used car managers, used car salesmen, or just someone's period. We're actually human beings, and we want to take care of you. Not everybody is bad in the sales industry. So I want to change that. And that's what I try to do with each and every customer, is try to, make their experience incredible. Because 9 times out of 10, that's going to be the most or the second most that they would ever expensive vehicle or purchase that they will ever buy in their life.
There's a lot of cool things that make you successful in your job. You put people first, you hustle, and you're willing to take advice from people. And I would say there's a couple people that have poured into you that have helped you get to where you're at.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about a few people you work with now that have helped you get to where you're at.
Oh, man.
I know the list might be long.
It kind of is, because I take I take bits and pieces of just about everyone, especially if they're tenured in the business. I, owe a lot of my success, and I don't work with him as much anymore because he's here at the Toyota store, but Brian Winston and Aaron Krieger and Andy Guerin were my original managers back in the day when I started in 2013. And Brian Winston really, really poured into me the art and the craftsmanship of salesman. I was really rough on the edges, very aggressive, very just kind of like, buy. And he sat me down. He slowed me. He told me to just slow down, and how to engage with the customer. And then when I start going forward and I start making a name for myself a little bit more, then that's when one of my really good mentors, Jim Pagodas, been in the company for forever. He's been in the car business for 30 plus years, really sat me down and was just like, hey, you can run wild all you want and blow out all these customers, or you can run to get a customer and then take your time and slow down and try to give them that good experience. And he really helped me on how to articulate, how to connect with the customer on a different level, more of a friendship, not as just, hey, I'm the salesman, you're the customer, and just keep it business, that way, straight to the point, just to have fun and love what I do. And then I had Mike Clark help me as he saw me grow a little bit more and he got into his management role. He definitely helped me elevate to keep me be competitive, because he was a salesman too. And he would try to challenge me and try to beat me every month, which he did not. He will claim that he had me up 1 month, and I still want to see the records because I don't recall that at all. It was unfortunate he got promoted to finance manager, and then recently it's been Drew Dixon. I came back in May of 2018 as a salesman, and by that time, I've done the finance role, I've done the salesman job, right? And then he had me take it up another notch by constantly putting pressure on me to perform at the highest levels, kind of like an athlete. Athletics, they have to perform at the highest level every day, even in practice, to get better. And that's what he did. And it sucked. It was a lot of growing pains between me and him, but he's definitely helped me to raise my game and believe in myself and pour into me to say, hey, you can do whatever you put yourself to. You just have to go chase it. Nobody's going to give it to you. And that's what's really helped me over the last year and 2 years to try to become a better sales professional. Or sales advisor, I should say.
Yeah.
See, I'm still working on it.
It's a work in progress.
I'm still working on it. So he's helped me and to raise the intensity level all the time and continue to grow. And then also not be about myself, but also try to pour into the people that's coming behind me. Because eventually, you know, if things work out and I move up to the next level, I have to find a replacement, which is a huge, like size 25 shoe to fill.
I hate to break it to you, but they're not going to find a replacement for you. You realize that, right?
Maybe not, but you know, the goal is to try to find somebody who can try to put up some of the numbers that I can, and or maybe two people that can put up the numbers that I can.
Exactly.
So that way, you know, this train continue to keep going. So those are the people that were very, very instrumental and made a huge impact in my life and my career.
That's great. What I love that you said about Drew was he instilled in you that you have to be the one to sell your dream, because no one's going to sell your dream to you and make you have that happen. It's you that chooses that to make. It's you that chooses to do that.
Right. Absolutely.
And you're exactly right. There's been a lot of people that have helped you get to where you're at, that have poured into you, and I think something that is a very good attribute about you is you take a little bit from everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you've named. You said Mike Clark, you said Brian Winston, you said Drew Dixon, you said Andy Gehring, Aaron Krieger, and you've even said Jim Pagodas. Mm-hmm. Those are all completely different personalities and different sales processes that they kind of go through.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It was just huge. And then also my competitors. You know, I'm very competitive.
True, you're right.
So
you're right. You even said Mike Clark because you were competing against him.
Yeah. This is I feel like this was the Stone Age days. But recently, you know, I have to give a shout out to Andrew Clays and Jesse McCombs.
Shout out to Andrew Clays and Jesse McCombs,
because they're the ones that got my fire burning even hotter now, because they're right on my heels. Jesse McCombs last year, if you guys don't know, he beat me last year, and it was a reality check, you know. And I was very happy for him because he's worked his butt off. He's at a store that's growing. But they didn't start out selling the amount of cars as they did.
True.
They didn't have a lot of traffic as well either, so they had to create their own, which is sometimes hard to do in this business, is to be able to create and to have a big audience, customer base that can constantly send you refers and networking.
That's right.
Whereas I kind of have the luxury and been blessed enough to be at a busy Chevrolet store. We're constantly busy. So shout out to those guys, because they don't know it, but they definitely put me back into the rotation of okay, this is where I have to be. I don't like being second place. I don't even like being in third place. I'm got to give them a run for their money.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what it was. It was just like, okay, they're my competition, and and it's a friendly competition because we all have mutual respect for each other.
True.
You know, we all call each other and talk to each other. And really learn from each other of Andrew's sales tactics, or how he networks really well, and Jesse McCone, how he always is, you know, unselfish. I mean, he's the most unselfish guy I know. He would do anything for anybody, and so just picking up from those two guys too as well. I mean, they've helped formulate. I got a lot of different pieces from just about everybody, so
that's great.
It's definitely helped me out quite a bit, and I never forget that. I'm always, you know, humbled, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, and the store that Jesse and Andrew are at, they're at our Granger store.
Yes.
When we first opened that up in 2013, they hoped it was just going to be 35 to 40 cars a month.
Right.
And the staff there has been able to consistently be over 100 a month, which is amazing.
Right.
They're not only doing double, they're doing triple what they originally planned on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are plans for construction expansions and that in the future. Shortly, they did purchase the lot next to them. They're going to go through and work on making their lot bigger.
Nice.
There's some other cool things that are going on here within Gates. We are opening a Chevy store, so the construction on that's supposed to begin around March of this year, so 2 months.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of opportunity there, not only for employment, but also for the Chevy community in this area.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's one thing that we pride ourselves on, is going to where everybody's at, making it convenient and easy for them. And that's one big thing that we're really excited about with that new Chevy store, is now it's going to be back in South Bend.
Yeah,
kind of back where it started.
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't here when it happened, but I heard a lot of great memories and a lot of stories about how that was just so huge, and it was a big what's the word I'm looking for? It was grounded into that, and this was started. And just know that we're going to be right across the street from our competitors, and even better.
That's right.
You know, we're going to be right across the street from the Ford company, and so we hope to take
keep your friends close, your competition closer.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be awesome to be able to expand, and we're growing.
Exactly.
Even been in the business 90 plus years, we're still growing and getting better each and every time. You would think that we'd be like on autopilot right now,
and we're not.
And that's what makes us so great. Yeah. Is because we're always pushing to the next ceiling. Once we blow past one ceiling, we're trying to figure out, okay, we've done that. Now we have to go up to another level to maintain that.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see. And I think that's what pushes me to do the number that I did last year. And so the question is can I repeat that and move it up a little bit more?
Yeah.
And so that's the challenge for this year.
Yeah. What I love about the entire company as a whole is there's not just like you said, going on autopilot. There's nothing in the culture.
Right.
Where we just turn off and we do whatever. They're always kind of looking for the next thing.
Right.
And the people that have come before them really pave the road.
Yeah.
And they want to keep expanding the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, even a huge shout out to the owners that we have now.
Yeah.
Matt Helmkamp over at Chevy. We've got Joel Gates here at Toyota, and then Jeff Gates out at Elkhart.
Yeah. They've
done an amazing job at leading the company.
Yeah.
We can't leave out Dennis Pinard on the service side for fixed operations.
Right.
Clint Emberton for variable.
Yep.
They've done an awesome job, and you think the exact same thing that I'll say now, so I'll speak for both of us. Clint has been an amazing part of this company.
Absolutely.
And they've just changed so many things for the positive.
Right.
And it's all about putting the customer first.
Yeah.
He knows that we need to have the right vehicles to meet the needs of the community.
Absolutely.
We need to have the right financing options available. We need to have the right sales staff to do that.
Right.
And he knows what it takes to get it to the next level. So, I mean, huge shout out to him. We can't leave him out, right?
True that. But we also couldn't do none of that without our marketing team. So shout out to Sam Sweden for always.
That's right. Shout out to Sam Sweden.
Who always have the crazy ideas that he has put on over the last 8 years that I've been here.
That's right.
It's always crazy and funky and exciting and stuff that none of our competitors are doing.
Exactly.
He's always thinking outside the box to try to capture more customers, because customers love the wow factor of everything.
That's right.
And you too as well. Shout out to Jordan. I mean, because, the visual side, the videography side has definitely grown.
True.
We didn't have that 2 years ago, 4 years ago. We didn't have that. We didn't have these podcasts. We didn't have these lot drop Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. We didn't have none of that. And so shout out to you guys for thinking of ways and being creative and using your creativity to grow and to capture what people are on. A lot of people are on social media.
That's right. What I love about this is we're just telling your story and sharing that, and people buy cars from people.
Yes.
That's what we are right now. Yeah.
Especially if they like them.
If they know, like, and trust them.
Yeah.
They got to know you first, right?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. They will not buy at all if they do not like you.
That's right. Well, thanks for saying those nice things, and even about for Sam, because Sam's been in the business for over 60 years.
Yeah.
And he's been able to come back and do the same thing but differently. And he's always keeping the same type of energy, but doing it in a brand new way.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what's kind of made things different here as well. Mm-hmm. So you're exactly right. Is he's able to think of these things about where we're going to go marketing wise, and he follows that path and he makes it happen.
Right.
You're exactly right.
So yeah. It's I can't wait to see what's going to happen for February and March. I mean, he's going to throw something crazy out there.
He will.
I know he will.
And it's going to land well.
It will. It's going to resonate with the community, and we're going to have a lot of people gravitating to our locations and coming to see what we can offer, of course. So it's just huge. It's another thing, just like our lifetime powertrain that we offer.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody's offering that in Michiana. I don't know how that even came about, but I'm glad it did, because it gives a customer a peace of mind knowing that in their purchase price, they have a lifetime powertrain that covers, the drivetrain, engine, and transmission, unlimited miles and years.
Exactly. As long as they own it, it's covered.
Exactly. And so they're just like, what? Are you serious?
And what's mind-blowing is we've been doing that for over 12 months now.
Yeah.
And that means that we've helped, let's see, over 3,300 people with a lifetime warranty.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome. That's crazy. I got it on my wife's car.
Yeah.
But my wife's car, like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't
It's
pass
covered.
that up. Yeah, we're covered, baby. Travel. Let's go. We're taking your car.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, it's just huge. It's just another way of thinking outside the box to where I feel like we're light years ahead of our competition.
Exactly.
Things that I see the competitors do now, we did that 5-6 years ago. And so we just continue to raise the bar. And that's just another example of Gates as a whole, the entire team.
Exactly. It's in the culture.
Exactly. And it's awesome.
You don't quit. You never stop. Always put the customer first.
Exactly. And that's the way we go about our lives too.
Yeah. That's what's cool is it's not just about the business part. It's about teaching our employees to do that.
Yes.
Employees teaching their kids to do that so they can do it in their personal lives.
It's a lifestyle. Yeah.
Exactly. It's changing people's lives.
Yes. Huge.
Yeah. Exactly.
Huge impact, man.
Yeah. Well, even this year, so let's highlight your year real fast.
Yeah, sure.
So you did 331.5 deals.
Uh-huh.
But in March, you did a huge number just in March alone.
Yeah.
It was 50.5 deals.
Yeah.
50.5 people, almost, over 50 people that you helped find the right vehicle for them. You put them first. You made it happen.
Yeah.
How did you do it?
I'm still figuring it out. Obviously, man, I just like I've been preaching about just having fun, being honest, straightforward, and treating the customer like a family. Those are my mottos. Those are what I live by, because the rest will take care of itself.
True.
And it was just a coincidence. Like I said, I started out really hot. I think by the 10th, I had close to like almost 20 cars out. And then, Drew made a bet with me and was like, well, you can't get to 30. And I was like, all right, fine. And so the next thing I know, I'm close to 30. He says, go to 40. And then I hit 40. And then I was like, I think I'm gonna go for 50. And I said, what did Jesse do at the sale? And he was like, he did 50. And I was like, okay, perfect.
That's a new number.
And he was like, well, if you hit 50, Glenn, I'll get you a David Robinson jersey. I was like, David Robinson? And I was like, all right, bet. And then last minute, I changed it to Mookie Betts, number 50 on the Dodgers, because I liked his jersey better. But I just hit it. I was constantly busy, constantly interact with the customers and having fun. And there was times I was selling 4 or 5 cars a day at that particular time.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. It is. And in the midst of a pandemic.
Exactly.
Again,
you're right.
In the midst of the pandemic where we have to wear a mask, of course, and everybody's don't know and hesitant about of going out and being scared. And I've had 50.5 people come out and trust me, and their health, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
To come out and buy a car. And it was just so awesome to witness that and be able to see that and me able to actually do that. It was mind blowing.
Exactly.
It really was.
In that 1 month alone, you're talking about this year also doing 331. Because we can't pass this up, shout out to Drew Dixon.
Yeah, right.
Shout out to Drew for pushing you and making that happen at
he
first.
He actually did. He really did. He did push it. He's the one that was like, look, man, I ain't gonna be happy if you do 30. I've seen you do 30.
Yeah.
He was like, and then he would always make little smart comments. Well, Jesse did this. Jesse did that.
He knew how to motivate you, huh?
And it just was like, all right, okay, I just got to shut him up. It didn't work. Even after I hit 50.5, he was like, I'm mad at you. And I was like, why? He was like, because you didn't even you worked your normal hours and did 50.5 cars.
Wow.
You didn't stay open to close every day. You took your off days.
Wow.
You left early. You came in late and you sold 50.5. So just imagine, Glenn, if you really would have worked bell to bell. I said, I would have been tired.
True.
But I probably could have put up another 15 cars probably.
Yeah, true. Exactly.
So, and those are things, again, the prime example of him thinking like, okay, this is what you just did. But just think about how much more you could have touched if you could have pushed yourself some more.
Exactly.
Being grateful and humble, but yet still hungry enough to keep getting more.
To find the next person.
Exactly.
And help them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
to keep pushing the envelope. And I'm just like, when do I get a break? And he's like, when you're off of work. I'm just like, all right. So, it was crazy. It was awesome to see that, in the midst of me doing a 331.5, I had to plan for a wedding in 8 months too.
Let's talk about that real fast. So your wedding, what was your wedding day?
August 8th, 2021.
August 8th.
Yes.
So the second Sunday in August.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And it was.
Let's talk about that. Did you take time off to do that?
No, not really. No. I told my wife.
No, and no honeymoon either that month. You delayed the honeymoon.
Yeah, delayed the honeymoon to December. So when I proposed to her, just a lot of people don't know, I met my wife December 31st, 2018, going into 2019. And so I thought it was kind of, romantic to propose to her around the exact same time that I met her. It was at 10 o'clock p.m. At a friend's gathering that we had. And I decided to propose to her December 31st at 10 o'clock p.m. in 2020. And it was just pretty awesome. And I was thinking that it was going to get married in like a year or so. And she said, well, let's do it in August. I was like, huh? Well, that's not that far away. And she said, we can do it. I was like, all right, pick the date. I said it has to be on a Sunday because I want my gays guys to come.
Yeah, that's right.
So it has to be on a Sunday. I'm not going to do Saturday. And she was like, all right. And so we picked it. And in the midst of doing my numbers that I'm doing on my days off, I was, planning my wedding. It's crazy. It was
crazy.
Bananas to know that I did those numbers and still got married.
That's right.
Even I went on my bachelor's party, took a weekend off, and still put up the numbers that I did. It just lets you know that God just blessed me
You're right.
tremendously to be able to continue to do all of that and be successful and help 331.5 people. So it was crazy. It was awesome, man.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's great. Shout out to Jessica Walton.
Yeah, right. Shout out to my wife. She stuck by me. She stayed through the course. There was
and kept you on course too.
Yeah, there was some times she was frustrated because I was late for tasting or late for dinners, but she understood that it's the business, and and she supports me in whatever I do in this business and in my career. She supports me, and I do with her. So it's a great dynamic duo.
That's right, the dynamic duo.
Yeah, absolutely.
So your family, you've got 2 kids.
Yes, my son is 9. His name is Jalen Robert Walton, and my daughter is 6, and her name is Kenzie K. Walton, and they both go to LaSalle Elementary in Mishawaka.
There we go.
Man, great kids.
What do you like doing with them?
My son is at a different age now. He's 9, so he's at that stage where he is all about. He's getting into sports, but he loves like robotics. He loves science stuff.
Wow.
Science stuff. Building volcanoes. He for Christmas he wanted a tornado. I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, Dad, it's on Discovery Channel. So I went, and it was this little toy that you put water and little things in it, and it formulates a tornado.
Oh, I see.
And so he was really happy. Here he got a remote control car that can go 20 miles per hour and go in the snow all terrain, and he's like, I like this, or Legos. He's definitely the creative one.
Yeah.
He's the creative one. And my daughter Kenzie, she's into Barbie dolls, and she's into the LOL dolls and the Barbies and the spirit horses, and she's into makeup. So her wife, They put on a little makeup sometimes and dress up, and she walks around the house with my wife's heels on. So I can fit those. I was like, no, you can't. You're not wearing those. You're 6. We got about 10 more years to go. But they're just loving, fun kids, man. They genuinely love. I've taught them, and I'm continuing to keep working with them to be respectable, be leaders at their school, to be kind. Don't ever lie, and treat people the way you want to be treated. That's how I tell them to live their life and to try to be leaders in their classroom. And it's going well so far, Parent-teacher conference, they say my son is outstanding at LaSalle. He gets straight A's. He hasn't had a B yet. So I fear the day he gets a B, let alone a C.
Yeah.
But he really helps the teacher and try to be a leader throughout the school. And I've had the principal contact me and text me and just let me know. And my daughter, she's a shy one, but she's getting out of her shell and blossoming. It's awesome to see that those morals, I should say, that I formulated and got from Gates that I'm passing down to my kids. And now my kids are starting to see that.
That's amazing.
That's huge. You know, I wasn't taught that until I was 28 years old to have most of these morals. And now that I'm teaching my 9 and 6-year-old, and they're grasping the concept really well.
That's
where
amazing.
They have. And they're not selfish at all. They will give their toys away. For Christmas, we packed up all their toys that they didn't play with, and we passed them out to some of the kids at their school who didn't have it. They thought of that, not me.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's got to feel great, Glenn.
It does. It feels amazing. So it's just little things like that they're awesome. They really are.
That's awesome.
I ain't trying to get choked up, but I love my kids dearly, and they mean a lot to me. So that's why I keep pushing. That's another reason why I push myself more to be able to give them a great life and provide.
What an awesome motivation.
Yeah.
To not only succeed at what you're doing, but to also teach them how to do the same thing.
Yeah.
To take what you've learned and pass it on to the next generation. That's just been known for thousands of years, and when people discover that, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's great to do it. It's also great to watch other people do it. And I mean, I know you said you're getting a little choked up about it, but in all seriousness, I love hearing that stuff, Glenn.
Yeah, man.
That's what life is all about, is teaching your kids to follow in your footsteps and do better than what you did.
Yes.
And you're teaching them at a lot sooner age than what you learned.
Yeah. Yeah. And man, there's really nothing I can say about that. I mean, that's just awesome. They're good kids. They really are. I know at 9 I was not as good as they were.
Me neither.
There were some things that I was always just testing the waters on, but you always just want to be able to, again, raise the bar, how Gates raised the bar.
That's right.
For the company, for ourselves, and what we didn't have or what we didn't pay attention to or thought was just mom and dad talking, mess, we want to instill in our kids a lot earlier and help them to create that generation blessings.
Yeah. And just taking this back to the work side of it, this last year you did over 300. The year before you did almost 300. The year before that you did almost 300.
Yeah.
Now I know I'm rounding up.
Yeah, no.
But that's almost 1,000 people in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you and I have talked about this before, because I think about this a lot, is those 1,000 people, chances are in their life, they also know 1,000 people that they can have a positive influence on.
Right.
Which means that you're one step away from 1 million people. And because you're able to do that and change their life in a positive way by helping them, putting them first and showing them what it really means to be a good car advisor, then you've done that.
Right.
And you've had a positive influence on almost 1 million people is what it's going to come down to. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is crazy.
In 3 years too.
Yeah, that is crazy to even think about that. Yeah. Wow.
It's really something.
Yeah.
So Glenn, I think that's one thing that's so cool about what you're talking about is you're influencing your kids' lives in a positive way. And you're taking something that you did at work and have learned at the age of whatever it was, 28, 30, and you're teaching your kids that when they're 6 and 9, and they're creating a positive influence in their own communities, being only 6 and 9. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. And
that's got to feel great.
It does. I mean, I didn't expect it. It's just, I just want to continue to do right by them and to know that, they can still have fun in life as long as they continue to go by those mottos, respect everyone, be courteous, don't lie, be a leadership. You don't have to be a follower. There's enough followers in this world.
That's right.
So you continue to lead, and be by example. So, those are some of the things that we highlight, and my wife definitely helps them raise their game to another level too.
Shout out to Jessica Walton.
Yeah, Jessica. Just because she has a different way of looking at things. Where I used to, I guess, coddle them because of their ages. She was like, "No, that we are going to talk to them as if they were adults." And sometimes they may not catch on, so we have to explain. And I tell them, if you don't understand the word or what the sentence I'm using it in, ask me, what that means, so And so we've done a great job trying to help them out. And then obviously they with their mom too, we all been working together because back in the day, used to say it takes a village to raise a kid. So I think we've been doing it fairly well. And it's been awesome to see that, because our main goal is to make sure that our kids have a full, effective, fun, and good, blessing life. So
yeah, that's great.
So yeah,
that's awesome.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's cool to see that and experience that firsthand for you. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Because it feels really good to hear you talk about it.
Yeah.
From the outside perspective.
Yeah.
And
it is.
just to see how good of you might not think you're a good father, but you are. You know what your goals are for your kids, and you're helping them move in that direction.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you're being a good husband, and you're being a good father, and you're being a good community member.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool things that are going on there.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It is. And it just takes one person at a time.
That's right.
That's what it is. If everybody can get out of their own, selfishness and start thinking about other people and start to being courteous and obviously keep that motto, treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah. That
will go a long way instead of being selfish.
That's true.
Because selfishness doesn't get you anywhere. It's like a quick, it's glorified quick. But if you continue to do those things, the longevity and your happiness will be better. And that's what I'm realizing. Even at 35 years old, I'm getting all those things to where I'm finally understanding, it's finally clicking. And so and it's so much peaceful. It's so peaceful. So those are just good things that we're, I'm working on constantly every day, renewing my mind, my faith, my family, my career, my art, my craft, I guess you can call it. So those are things that I'm really putting a lot of effort in.
That's great.
Yeah.
What does your future hold? What do you think is going to happen in the next couple of years? Obviously, we're opening up a new Chevy store here in South Bend. We're bringing Chevy back to them. What do you think that looks like for you? What are your goals the next couple of years? I guess is what I'm asking.
That's a good question. So, as we talked earlier, maybe testing the waters to go back to management. Being a desk manager, and really be able to pour more into the sales professionals, the up and comings, and train them and create that culture, whether it's at the new Chevy store or I go to another store like Granger or go to the old Chevy store, or whatever that is, where they want me to go. We definitely will be talking about and trying to move forward. And if it's not, and if it's a standstill, then that's okay too, because I have a lot of audience and a lot of sales customers and family members, I guess I can call them, that would be happy that I'm back to continue to sell them their cars and sell their family cars and sell their kids' cars and their kids' cars. So but ultimately my goal is, when that Chevy store opens up, is to be a desk manager, be able to carry on that culture and that legacy of Gates, and to create another path for myself, another chapter in the book.
The next chapter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And stepping up and being a leader, I think that would be a huge step in the right direction for anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think you've put a lot of good time in for not only being in sales, you spent time in finance, and we're talking about not just a couple of years, we're talking about 7, going on 8 years now. Actually, I'm sorry.
9.
9 years.
Yeah, July 13th is when I got hired, 2013.
Wow.
I remember.
We're going on 9 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah.
What do you think it is about Gates that makes Gates different than other dealerships?
Oh, man, there's a lot. And this is no disrespect to our competitors by any means. But I just feel as though that our culture and the way that we push the envelope and raise the ceilings and continue to lead by examples, and our work ethics definitely make us the number one. And there's a reason why we're number one in Michiana, and we're the number one used car. Gates Chevrolet has been the number one used car dealership because of the amount of people we have. A business can't sustain itself without the employees that work there.
That's right.
No matter if the owners come, they can't do it all by themselves, obviously. So they rely on the management team. The management team is the good fit that we have. Can't rely on them to go sell their cars either, right?
That's right.
So they have to rely on the sales professionals, right? Like myself
Yeah.
and other people that's in the business.
It's teams building teams who build teams.
Exactly. And that's how it's like a dynasty. Kind of like the Bulls.
Yeah.
How they three-peat. They had a good core group of guys with the coaching staff and management, and that's how they were able to do the numbers and win the championships that they won. And that's how I look at us as a dynasty. We're always growing and helping. We're learning. And the one thing I can say about our management team and even the owners is that they are have their ears open to, I guess you can call constructive criticism or something to help make different avenues. They're not just one-sided, like this is just what I'm going to do, this is what we're going to do, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
They're always looking on how to grow, and they're not doing it by themselves, and they rely on, the team.
Yeah.
And people.
Exactly.
And so
they're looking for what the next big thing is.
Exactly. And so that's what I think make us so successful in what we do. And how we can reach out to, people. I just sold a car in Pennsylvania, and they saw, yeah.
Wow.
We sold a 2022 Trax to a lady in Pennsylvania, and she was on cars.com, happened to see our car, but then she looked at our reviews and looked us up and was like, I want to do business. And she's like 9 hours away in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
That's amazing.
So just being able to reach out to people like that. I've sold a car in New York. I've sold a car to a person in Florida. So just being able to reach out to different communities and even out of state, Gates, I mean, that's huge. And it just starts with us and the core people that we have with us.
Exactly. And the stores that we have, so we got 4 stores. We got Toyota, which is in South Bend, Chevy, which is where you're at, which is in Mishawaka. We've got Granger, then we've got Elkhart.
Yes.
Combined between those 4 stores, we sold over 6,200 cars last year in 2021. Before that, we've done over 6,000. Before that, we were really close to it. In the last 3 years, we've done over 18,000. We've helped over 18,000 people.
Yeah.
That's amazing to do in this community.
In the midst of a pandemic.
That's right.
Let me highlight that. Let me get close. In the midst of a pandemic.
During the pandemic.
Yeah. I mean, if that doesn't tell you how blessed our company is.
Yeah.
And what a group of strong management and sales advisors that we have. I don't know what will tell you. I mean, to do 6,200 cars in a pandemic with new car shortages, we didn't have a sale, which is our highlights, the 5 months out of the year, correct?
That's right.
We didn't have a sale at all.
Not one.
And still to do 6,200 cars. What did we do in 2020? Do you remember what we did in 2020?
We had 4 sales in 2020. We had to cancel the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many numbers, and what did we do?
For each of those 4 sales, during those 6 days, we would do, if we didn't do over 300 cars, we did close to 300 cars in just those 1 weeks. So you take those 4 weeks, and that was 1,200 cars just during those 4 weeks.
Right.
Isn't that nuts?
Right. And then 2020, that year, we did over 6,000 cars, right?
Exactly.
Like 6,500 cars?
Yeah, like 6,300. Exactly.
So to do 100 cars less without a sale, it's bananas. It's nuts. Just tells you, that we're just, it works. The formula works. What we do, our process and our culture and how we raise our guys, it works. It shows.
Because we care for people.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. We really do. And that's just, you got to come check us out. You have
if you haven't heard
of Gates,
if you don't know who we are, we're sorry.
Yeah, I'm so sorry that you. And if you
That's
had a
my
bad,
bad.
right. If you had a bad experience somewhere else, give us a try.
Yeah,
let us change your perception.
That's right,
and that's what we
and let Glenn Walton do it.
Well, yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it just shows that how fortunate this company is. And how blessed we are.
Exactly. One of the things you brought up was the new car shortage. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Now, normally at Chevy and Toyota, we would have about 300 new cars on the ground between the two. Mm-hmm. And how many do you have at Chevy right now on the ground?
Well, I just got a text message from my boss, Aaron Krieger, new car manager.
Shout out to Aaron.
Yeah, shout out Aaron. I think we have now maybe 6 new cars, and maybe 4 of them already spoken for. So
and all 2. 6 showed up on Wednesday.
Yeah,
2 days ago.
Yeah, and so, and that's a lot of people don't realize they that's another reason. we've been so fortunate to be able to have the leisure to search and buy a car and look at everything and weigh our times, weigh out options, go places and things like that. And now we don't have that luxury to do. And people are just like, they're kind of panting or freaking out and like, what do I do? What do I do? Well, you know, I know you have this rule of I have to sleep on it and pray about it and everything like that and make sure I feel comfortable about it. And that's understandable, completely understandable. But just keep in mind what you're thinking about. Somebody else has already thought about a couple of days and they're hoping that that car is still available to buy.
That's right. What you're thinking about tonight, someone slept on last night.
Exactly. Exactly. And then when you come back and you don't get it and we don't have it, then you was like, I should have bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you compare every car to the car that you missed. And then you just put yourself in a whirlwind.
Not a good situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy. I look at it as a Black Friday every day. Because, you know, on Black Friday, everybody's rushing to go get a car. I mean, you know, gifts and stuff for their family and loved ones and everything. They're standing out in line. Obviously, we don't have the people standing out in line, but, you know, it's you got people running to get a car because they need one and they know that the trade-in value for their used cars has went almost 50% of what it was worth.
Exactly.
Almost, not quite, but the trade-in values, I got some people who've driven cars for a year and didn't lose as much money as they thought they would have and had the luxury to come out into another one. So it's a different time and we have to adjust and so so do the customers. They need to understand. And I think they do, that you don't have the luxury to go just shop all the time because there's some dealerships that only have 4 or 5 cars on the lot. We've been very fortunate and blessed again. Shout out to Joel. Right?
Shout out to Joel.
That we continue to keep, you know, 40, 50, 60 cars on the lot, which it looks like to us. But for some people, they say, oh, man, you guys got a lot of cars on the lot. I drove past so-and-so and they didn't have really anything.
Exactly. There's enough of our competitors in this area that have 5, 10 used vehicles on their lot.
Exactly.
And they only have 1 or 2 locations.
Right. And we have 30, 40 cars at each location.
At least, exactly.
You know, and then, you know, not knowing that Joe probably bought another 150, 160 cars that are all being spread out amongst the 4 different locations.
Exactly.
We're starting to keep it fresh as much as possible. So, you know, I just encourage people to, you know, try to come to us to Gates.
Yeah.
Come to Gates. Check us out. And definitely just know that this is a different time of buying.
Yeah. What advice would you give to buyers who are looking for a new car right now?
Brand new or used?
Brand new.
Brand new. Okay.
First, start looking at Chevy.
Of course. Right. First, we have to look at our Chevrolet products.
Yeah.
For third row, please come see us for the new Traverse, all redesigned. Really spacious. But I would say that shortage is not going to go away anytime soon. And I've tried to educate my customers by informing them that because of this chip shortage that we have, that has put a stop to a lot of different things. Things that we normally will get, we don't get. And cars are being pre-sold before they even hit the lot. Why search different places? I try to coach them. I had a customer this last week that said to me that, well, I just want to see if I can find a car. And I told them, do you really want to work 40 hours a week at your job and then spend another 2 or 3 hours at home searching for cars that may or may not be there? Or I have a built car right here that fits the specifications of what you want, needs and wants. And I'm asking you be patient because you technically don't need a car right now. You just want one.
True.
Right? If you be patient, wait 3 to 4 months, depending on how quickly it's assembled and shipped off, you can get a brand new vehicle without having to worry about anything. You know, that's what I try to tell them is because if not, you're going to be searching and looking in a 500-mile radius and you're not going to find anything. And if you do find something, they're going to charge you way over the price because of the supply and demand for these new cars.
That's right. And there are dealers right now who are charging $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 more.
Yes.
Yeah.
And our competitors, I just saw Bronco MSRP was at like 40 grand, and they just charged another 30 grand for the Bronco because they know it's in a demand.
Oh my word!
And people are buying them.
Yeah,
people are buying them. So,
aren't you glad we're not doing that?
Yeah, so happy. I tell the customers that we're not doing that. We're not charging you over that price. Over sticker price, of course.
Yeah.
And trying to gross you or not. But we also offering a lifetime powertrain warranty on your new vehicle that you're getting. Just be patient.
Included,
please.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you can just be patient and just know that you have a car coming in, a truck that you like, that you want, and now you can enjoy the rest of your day or month or whatever you want to do. And when it's ready, it's here. Why not do that?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
What's holding you back?
It's in our DNA to always think about what if.
You're right. And people are just so resistant to change at all.
Exactly. They don't want to change. They want to do what they want to do, which is understandable. But you're missing out on what could be your blessing based on, you're trying to rush the process.
Yeah. And you're trying to get something that doesn't exist too.
Exactly. So I would definitely encourage our new car buyers, check out our Chevrolet brand. Please do. We have the hottest SUVs in the line out. Yes, you need compact to full size.
Look at the Traverse.
Definitely. Traverses, Blazers, Equinox got a facelift, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
But definitely come sit down with us and we educate you guys.
Yeah.
Let us explain to you guys.
They need to be patient too, because it's going to be a few months if they want to buy something right now.
Exactly.
And they want to build it to a certain spec.
Exactly. Or we can build you one to you, and once the order comes into place, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, true. Now, I think if they put it in sold, they put a deposit down, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in Chevy's system, if it's marked as sold, it'll get done quicker than if we just have one that we want to buy for our inventory.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you build a vehicle with us, that will get pushed to the top of the list.
Yeah, huge priority.
Exactly.
Huge. Wow.
Exactly. Absolutely.
That's great. Yeah, they basically take microprocessors that are committed to other vehicles and put it towards the sold ones. What's going on?
Yeah, which is, if anything, that's a win-win for you guys.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's a win-win for us too, because the turnarounds are coming a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
So I was told that we should hopefully get back to normal by the mid or end of fall.
That's what I heard too. They said third quarter.
Yeah, but we will see.
It'll be closer to normal.
Which
I don't know.
What does normal mean?
Yeah, exactly. And for you guys, you had almost 200 new cars on the ground at certain times.
Yeah, we did. And we had 2 lots full of them. We had the lot across the street from us full of trucks and commercial. 3 lots full.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought about
the commercial ones, yeah.
We had the commercials, and then we had overflows of new trucks or new Equinoxes or our overflow lot on, I think it was Hickory. And then across the street on McKinley was trucks. And then on the main lot was all, our Equinoxes, Blazers, Tracks. And then on the side was maybe a Colorado or 2, or maybe Traverses or Tahoes or Suburbans. So to just see that all of that is almost empty is mind blowing. It really is. But we're working as hard as we can to make sure that we get our customers in and they know like a realistic time. We don't want to. And
communication with customers, that's a big thing.
Exactly.
If they're ordering something, they need to know updates. They're looking for updates.
Yep, absolutely, because they're curious. And if you leave them high and dry, they feel like you don't care about them.
Yeah.
It's another thing. So
yeah.
But yeah, we're adjusting.
Yeah.
I just hope that we get back to having at least 20 to 30 new cars on the line. At least that. Give me 10 or 15 or something that's not already sold that we can try to sell.
All I want is 10 or 15.
Just for now. Just for now, honestly. Even if it's all Equinoxes or all Trailblazers or whatever, I don't care. Just give us, something that people can do. Because, to have it physically there, they can touch it, look at it, drive it, get a feel for it.
Yeah.
It definitely helps the customer be more engaged.
Yeah.
And be more willing to buy. So, yeah.
True. That's some great advice for new car buyers. Now, let's shift just a little bit and talk about what about people that just started working at Gates? What advice would you give them about the opportunities that are really in front of them?
Man, they definitely came at a crazy time, obviously, due to the car business. However, I would say the first things first is to put your ego and pride to the side and be a sponge. Try to soak up as much knowledge as you can from the guys or gals that are before you, that are being successful. Try to get to know the lay of the land. Know your inventory. Work on your craft, because for some people this is a craft. I like that. I use that. I would definitely advise them to do that, and to not try to. And even when you do get the hang of it, always stay humble. Always remember what it was like when you first started, and that's what I've been working on is remembering when I first started, how I didn't know anything, and to be humble, and to work on myself more, and not to be too boastful, prideful when you have that success, because there's going to be times, or there's going to be a stint in your career where you're going to be very successful. Wear that, but just don't be too boastful.
That's great. We're going to go ahead and land this plane, Glenn, and bring
sure.
this episode to a close. What other things do you want to say, whether it's advice to someone, whether they work here at Gates, or advice to customers, maybe even family, friends? Anything else you want to share?
Man, I really want to give a shout out to my customers.
Shout out to Glenn's customers.
And the reason being is because without you guys, there's no 50 and a half cars, in March. There's no 331 and a half cars in a year. There's no Glenn Walton at Gates Chevrolet. You helped me to become a better sales advisor. And you entrust me with your family and your friends and your colleagues. And so I greatly appreciate you guys' support. And to, Gates as a whole, just continue to keep climbing, continue to get better. That's what we're here for. That's what we want to do. So always keep pushing the envelope. Never stay stagnant.
I love that, Glenn.
So, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Glenn, thanks so much for doing this, man. I appreciate
no
this.
problem, man.
Can we do it again?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Anytime, we can always talk about it.
That's great. Thanks for being on here, Glenn. I appreciate you not only for being an awesome asset to Gates, but also a good friend.
Nice.
I appreciate
you as well, man. Appreciate you too, Jordan.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's Car Talk, where we talk everything car related, from buying to selling, financing, and servicing. Tune in next week for next week's episode. Thank you.